So we're live. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Testing, 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 testing. Carl Quanch for the sports hit list by the fans and for the fans. Let me just get my notification that we are live.
It's just me.
Yeah, it's just you. Well, I mean, Rick is in New Orleans. I mean, well, and so is Paul. So
What
I
am I
got,
doing? What am I doing wrong in life, yeah? Son ain't right. I need to be there.
I know, tell me about it. We are live here on the sports hit list by the fans and for the fans getting ready for Super Bowl. I believe I have another fan coming in. Travis, are you ready for the big game?
I'm always ready, Carl. It's Super Bowl weekend. Rain, sleet, or snow. Listen, if you have known, I have been in New Jersey, Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina in the past 24 hours and back. But I'm exhausted, but I'm here ready for the Super Bowl, baby, because it's the Super Bowl.
We have a very special guest. He's one of my students from Suffolk County Community College, Kyle Dowd. Travis, I don't know if you remember 2 years ago when the Eagles lost, there was a fan who went on a rant. He was so pissed off. That was Kyle. He was so upset at the loss. He's joining us here live again. Kyle, how you doing? You're back again 2 years later, man. How you feeling?
Yeah, it's weird. The last couple of the last like obviously 2 weeks since I've known we've been back in the Super Bowl, I've been like talking about like things that what it feels like to have your team in a Super Bowl, and I like stop and think is like it is so crazy that I have a team that I'm a fan of that I now like am accustomed and used to them being in the championship game or series, which is crazy. So yeah, we're back in the Super Bowl 2 times, 3 years, 3 times in the last when was 2018? 6 years ago. So 3 times, 7 years ago. So 3 times in the last 7 years. Feels good. Nervous, but it feels good. Two times
I'd
in
like to
three
believe
years.
that I'm your good luck charm because I believe since I've known you, the Eagles have been in the Super Bowl 3 times and they've won once. So
Close,
I'm your good
close,
luck.
close. We won the Super Bowl my senior year of high school. So a year
Really?
before I
Oh, it
went to
was the fall,
Caltech.
right?
Yeah,
I met you that fall, right?
yeah.
I'll still take it. I'll still take it.
I'll give you credit. I'll give you credit.
But before we get to I guess the chatty patty stuff, Trav, let me ask you, what's your feel? What's been your feel like? I know the NBA has kind of, killed the
No, you
NFL for the
haven't.
last 2 weeks. Yes,
No, you
they have.
haven't.
Luka
No, you
Doncic
haven't.
trade killed it. Let's be
No, no, you
honest.
haven't.
Yes, they
We not
did.
even. That
We
was a
took
week ago.
over.
We're not even
We,
talking about it
we
no
just
more.
gave it back to you after the trade deadline.
Ain't nobody paying attention. Y'all tried. Yeah, y'all
No,
tried.
no, they
Y'all be want.
succeeded.
No,
Be
they
honest. They
didn't.
succeeded. The NBA took over the
Uh,
last 2 weeks. They killed the
no,
NFL noise. Yes, they did.
y'all had a good. I would give y'all 48 hours from Sunday. Or if it's not a Saturday night, because I listen. I woke up Sunday morning. Was like, wait a minute, what happened?
Yeah,
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 so yeah,
yeah.
so that Saturday night don't really count. So I might give y'all like
Okay.
40 hours.
All
Y'all
right,
might have something.
but honestly talking though, what's been your vibe? What's been your feel about this game? I mean, what I've been listening to is a matter of people want to see Chiefs make history, right? Like that's been the narrative, clear cut, that the Chiefs are going to make history. But the Eagles could upset that, and a lot of people who are against the Chiefs because they don't want to see history and they get tired of seeing the same teams winning. What's been your feel? What have you been hearing around? I guess the
Well,
predictions.
I'm in Eagles country, so therefore they ain't trying to hear none of that. They want a Super Bowl, so I mean I can't stand and say that's what I'm hearing, but I know that narrative is out there, and to be honest, I've been quite torn on this game. I, I'm I'm gonna be honest, Carl. We started the show. I still don't know who I'm picking yet.
Really?
So yes, still don't know. I'm sitting here with props from multiple teams. Still don't know. You know what I mean? Um, so I get that. Listen, we've never seen the three-peat happen in the NFL, so I understand how the significance of that is, and how mainly it's mainly just Chiefs Kingdom that wants to see that. Like you said, nobody else really wants to see that. Eagles fans, of course, they want to see that team get a Super Bowl. Carl, I mean, you know where I stand. I've been waiting for the Eagles to get here all year. You know what I mean? So
Well, you know
and,
what?
and, and
Let's
here
be
we are.
correct. Let's be correct. To Kyle, some backstory. When Saquon was going for the record, Travis was for him getting benched because he said that they'd be here. That was the mindset, and we all kind of was just like, "What are you doing? He's supposed to go for the record." Travis, I'll give you that credit. You were like, "No, sit
The
him out
goal is to get here
to
to
get here," and
today.
now he's here, and now he's got to get it done.
Out with them. Yeah, I understood everybody wanting to see a record. I love seeing records too, but specifically for like someone like me, when it's your team, you're definitely scared of it. But it's paid off. I hated the narrative of like, oh, you better win the Super Bowl now when they didn't bench him, because obviously the benching was to like hope to win the Super Bowl. The game still have to be played, but yeah, it worked out. Thank God.
So, Trav, really though, what does this game come down to at the end of the day? I mean, it's a matter of the Chiefs having to stop Saquon and run game. Clearly the Chiefs have been here before, and the Eagles, in a sense, have been here before too. 2 years ago, they were here. I know it's a different team, but the teams have been here before.
I mean, it's I would say 70 to 75% the same team. So it's not that much of a different team in terms of the Eagles. This game comes down to what I believe the most interesting game of the trenches, or what we like to call the O line versus D line, especially the interior on both sides of the teams. Because for the Chiefs on the defensive side, you have Chris Jones, who will be going against arguably the best offensive line in the NFL. And then on the other side, you have that great Chiefs interior offensive line between Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey. I don't know what the word is on Joe Tooney. There have been rumors that they might shift him back into guard from playing left tackle, simply because the Eagles' front four, specifically Jalen Carter, has been so dominant in the playoffs. So we'll see what that's probably going to be a game time thing. We'll see what happens with that. If it might be a situational type thing, but it's going to come down between in the trenches, because whichever core interior wins, I believe wins this game. So therefore, you have Trey, like I said, on the Chiefs side, you got Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, potentially Joe Tooney against Davis, Jalen Carter, Melton on that Eagles defensive line. And then you have Chris Jones, who loves to move up and down the defensive line, and is going to have to go against that dominant Eagles offensive line, because not only are they dominant in terms of size and stature, they're athletic. I mean, Carl, I don't think you understand on how incredible it is to see this offensive line for the Eagles move. It's like, remember when let me put it in NBA terms for you, okay? Remember when Jokic was, when we all used to complain about he was big and he was fat, you know what I mean? Imagine a bunch of big jokers, but they can still move and dominate from what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing. As a former lineman, it's a beautiful thing to watch. You know what I mean? I love seeing the big guys get their credit, and they're going to get their credit today, because will that Chiefs defense be able to stop Saquon? We all know that is the key to the game right there. So, I mean, it's a lot of teams have tried. The key is everybody's harping on the stat of the Chiefs not giving up 100 yards rushing in this era of, I think it's the last 18 playoff games or something like that. So I mean, it's gonna be a great game to watch.
We are live right now on the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. Carl Kalan is joining alongside Travis, Kyle Dowd, and also joining us, Ricardo Etienne. I thought you was out, man. I thought you was in New Orleans. How are you pulling up already? You flew back home? What's going on?
Made it back. Yeah, bro. Listen, man, I was there.
Why didn't you stay? Like, what are you doing? I thought you would have stayed.
Oh, am I going to the game on your dime?
No, no.
right. Did the sport list hit get a little out me?
If you got a media pass for me that I don't know about,
you know what I mean?
But last year I think you stayed within the vicinity of the games and you watched the games there. That's what I thought you were gonna do this year,
bro. Last year was Vegas, bro. This ain't Vegas, man. It ain't the same. Real talk. I mean, I had a good 3 days in New Orleans. It was fun. Got to experience some great events Thursday, Friday, and even last night. But yeah, it ain't Vegas. You know what I'm saying?
So you flew back last night or this morning?
Flew back, man. We was in the whip, bro. Straight from Manny Fresh, bro. We left the Manny Fresh party, hit the road, and was here by 11 o'clock this morning, man.
My man,
he had a greater road trip than me.
I hear that.
Oh, yeah.
So how long was the drive? You'd say probably what, like
9 hours. Yeah.
Oh wow, this guy. God bless you, bro. But Kyle, let me ask you this though: could you be objective to us and letting us know what's your feelings for this game, honestly?
Yeah, so I mean, being obviously I got my Saquon Barkley jersey on, so you can see where my biases stand. But being objective, you got on the Chiefs side, you have a quarterback that's not only been here, but is arguably and inarguably the best quarterback of our time, arguably the best quarterback we've ever seen. You got Andy Reid, inarguably the best head coach, one of the better play callers we've ever seen. You got a great interior line on the Chiefs. On the defensive side, you got Chris Jones, who's a game wrecker. You have two pretty good corners, and then outside of that, they're relatively gettable in the pass game. And on the Eagles side, in my opinion, you have a ton more talent. You have good coaching as well. You have a quarterback who's also been here. You have an entire O-line who's been here, except Mekhi Becton. And Juergens was there in 2022, but he didn't play. You have an unbelievable defense, the best defense in the league this year. Some of them have been there. Most of them have not. I believe it's like maybe two or three of our starters have been there from 2022. So yeah, I mean, it's nerve-wracking. The better team is, in my opinion, the Philadelphia Eagles. But at the end of the day, where you can kind of level the playing field is at quarterback, is at head coach, is at play callers, and that's where the Chiefs kind of get the Eagles. But it'll be a fantastic game. What I will say is the people who are saying that they're NFL fans but aren't excited for this game, you're not NFL fans. There's no way you can see this matchup of a great Chiefs defense with a gettable run game. Lately, they obviously the last 19 playoff games, they haven't had 100-yard rushers, but Joe Mixon had some success. The Bills had some success. So gettable. Pass game, great, gettable, especially at tight end, where the Eagles have a great tight end. You have Jalen Hurts trying to get revenge from a couple years ago. You have Saquon Barkley, who's on the verge of maybe having the greatest running back season of all time. And then on the other side, being objective, don't want to see it happen, but you have possible greatness to happen. You have Pat Mahomes, who could have the first three-peat ever. Andy Reid could have the first three-peat ever. Remember, like, what was it, 5-6 years ago when we were like Andy Reid, great coach, playoff choker. Now we can be in the same breath as pretty much Bill Belichick just 5, 6, 7 years later, partially because he stumbled upon the best quarterback we may have ever seen, but also because he's a fantastic play caller. So, and on top of that, Kendrick Lamar halftime show, that's going to be awesome. So it's going to be a fantastic game. I do have the Eagles. It could be my bias speaking, but I'm going to take the better team. I'm going to take the better run game. Run game can keep offenses off the field, and our defense, once their offense gets on the field, can take them off the field as well. This is not even close to the same defense as 2022. Much more dominant and way harder to create long drives on, which the Chiefs love to do.
Kyle, remind us 2 years ago, what was your beef at the end of the game? Was it the bad call?
It was the holding call. People remember the infamous holding call. And I'm actually anti like the Chiefs get helped by the refs narrative. I hate that stuff. I don't think the game is rigged, not even close. I don't think the Chiefs are like, oh, let's make this call for Pat Mahomes. I do think Pat Mahomes gets star calls. That happens across all of sports. Since sports have been a thing, stars get better calls. It happens. My problem with that holding call was that they let everything go the whole game. They were pretty okay with physicality. That sure he was holding, but DBs and O linemen hold every play. It just depends on what refs want to call what. To not call a single hold the whole game and then call a hold in that moment, that's where you want reffing to stay consistent. You don't want them to call something they didn't call the whole game in the biggest moment. So I still stand by. I don't think the call was right, but and now back then there wasn't this whole like games are rigged to help the Chiefs. So now that people always try to say that, I'd like to come out and say I am very against that narrative. I don't think it's true, and I think it's annoying when people bring it up.
That being said, Rick, did you want to let Super Bowl P go first because he's actually there at the game again, going back to back?
Nah, if he doesn't mind, I'm gonna go real quick because I'm in the trenches. I'm helping out the I'm helping out the company. I'm being a company man today and helping them out in the trenches.
Cool.
So
well, real quick,
I want to just drop my nugget and then enjoy Paul's beautiful view there.
Look at
50-yard line too. Come on,
I know.
I want to be like Paul when I grow up.
Back-to-back Super Bowls, bro. What's the secret? What's the secret, Paul? Paul gotta let us know what's the secret to that. He's attended back-to-back Super Bowls.
Do your thing, Rick. Do your thing, baby.
All right. So listen, I got 4 quick keys which kind of refer to both teams, right? So let's start in the defensive backfield. I think for me, I'm going to be interested to see what each of the quarterbacks are able to do to manipulate the safeties throughout the game. That's going to be a really big key as if either one of them are really going to get their passing games moving along, right? And also help with the running game. So I'm going to be looking forward to seeing how the safeties on each side are manipulated by those QBs. Now we go into the trenches. I came in towards the end when Travis was talking about the trenches, so hopefully I'm not repeating a lot of the stuff that he says. Specifically, obviously, we know we got dogs on both sides, right? But we're talking both D lines and both offensive lines are fully competent and capable of going out there and just having star-studded performances. So one of the things I'm going to be looking for is how they're attacking. Like are you going to be focused on containing on the outside? Are you going to be focused on charging up straight the middle? Those types of different schemes and strategies are going to be extremely important to see how both a Chris Jones or a Jalen Carter is going to be able to get loose and get off throughout the game, right? So now we elevate and we go over to the offensive side. Specifically, what are those pulling motions going to look like from the offensive lines? The different shifts, when they're pulling and pinning on some of those key run plays to be able to open up those lanes and get Saquon specifically to that second level, but also someone like Kareem Hunt or even Isaiah Pacheco, if he's finally back up to speed and ready to have the game that the Chiefs might potentially need him to have as a running back, right? And then lastly, how are you going to contain the most feared person on each offense, right? For the Eagles, we know it's going to be 15 and containing 15, and then for the Chiefs, it's going to be containing 26, right? So can you limit Saquon and force Jalen Hurts to have a true epic quarterback type of game to be able to beat you? Can you limit Pat Mahomes and say, hey, look, I don't know if Kareem Hunt's going to be able to beat us. I don't know if Isaiah Pacheco's going to be able to beat us. I don't know if Xavier Worthy on some reverses or screens and bubbles and whatnot are going to be able to beat us. So those are the four main things I'm looking for. These are two equally balanced teams, right? I mean, we're getting the best matchup we could have potentially gotten. Some will say that the Lions might have been a better matchup. I don't buy it, saying obviously they're not here for a reason, respectfully. No disrespect to the Lions whatsoever. This is the best matchup we could have possibly have. We've got the two best teams in the league going up against each other. They've got a lot of similar strengths and a lot of similar weaknesses. So, I'm fully expecting a full-blown old school 12-round, boxing match going to the cards at the end. And, if we're going to the cards at the end, I said it live from Vegas last year as soon as they raised that second trophy. It's very difficult for me to look at a Patrick Mahomes-led team in the Super Bowl these days and go against them. So somehow, some way, at the end of that game, when they're gonna need it, I fully expect Patrick Mahomes to put his cape on and make history and three-peat for the Chiefs.
Man, we got Super Bowl peers in the buildings. Paul, what are your thoughts here, real quick? What's going on out there? Give us the vibe. What's the vibe out there?
Well, first of all, as Rick will tell you, the vibes out here is unmatched. Now, don't get me wrong, Vegas was a different animal, but you get a little bit closer to the people in New Orleans, unlike Las Vegas. Nobody's from Vegas. The people out here actually from here. It's a different spirit. Shout out to Subway for being the only restaurant open, all right, on Super Bowl Sunday. The cookies is hitting different before I got into the building. But, Rick spoke a lot about some of the bars. Travis spoke a lot. I'm going to dig a little deeper for y'all. Today may be Travis Kelce's last game. Okay, you might see a proposal. I'm told Travis Kelce gave a very emotional speech to his teammates last night, brought them to tears. The level of effort and execution we are going to see from the team from Kansas City is why I am here to witness history. How? So no disrespect to Eagles culture. I mean, Eagles is heavy, as you can see everywhere I turn. I take a flight of Eagles, but I watch Mahomes warm up. The crowd's going crazy right now as he throws passes. It is Chiefs Kingdom. And the difference in this game will be very similar to what we saw last year against a very dominant San Francisco 49er offensive line, one of the best lines we had ever seen, just like this Eagles team. And I watched them dogs at KC deliver. And this year they got the same cast with the addition of Big O, and Cook is back this year. I'm very excited to see how they contain 26 and make Jalen Hurts beat them, which I don't think he's capable today, baby. So give me the Chiefs.
Kyle, anything to say to that? We got two people picking the Chiefs here. And I'm trying to get Travis back on. He apparently got kicked out, and I'm trying to get him back on.
Yeah, a couple quick things. And then I am actually hosting, so I'm going to have to go in a little bit. But Carl invited me to talk Super Bowl. Got to do it for Carl. So Anyway, yeah. So first, everyone knows Steve Spagnuolo, just like any elite defensive coordinator, he's going to tell his guys 26 can't beat us. The best player on the other side of the field, Saquon Barkley, cannot beat us. It's going to have to be someone else. Complete fair observation. But I am sick of this disrespect to Jalen Hurts. We saw him 2 years ago in this game against the same team, against the same quarterback, outplay that quarterback. As great as Pat Mahomes is, I already said he's arguably the best quarterback we've ever seen. In my opinion, he is the best quarterback I've ever seen. I watched Jalen Hurts outplay this man on the biggest stage already. But besides the point, it might be Travis Kelce's last game, and that is true. And maybe we see a proposal. I don't know if that affects the outcome of the game, but it is 100% Brandon Graham's last game. A guy who's going to have his number up in the rafters and hasn't played the back half of the season. He hasn't played in a few months. I don't think he physically makes a big impact on the game. I think he only plays a few snaps, but just seeing him in pads, put on that midnight green for the last time with a Super Bowl patch on, that'll be more than enough to get the boys going, to get Jalen Carter going, to get Cooper DeJean going, to get Lane Johnson, who's been with him for 10, 12 years now, going, get all the boys going. So Chiefs are going to be a formidable opponent. Again, I think we have more talent, but quarterbacks and head coaches and defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators, special team coordinators, which Kansas City is great, all of them, those are great equalizers. So just because of that, it's going to be a close game. And close games, it's hard to pick against Pat Mahomes, but if there's a team in the NFL that could do it, it is certainly this Eagles team. So I got the Birds.
Hey, Cal, before you run, I got an interesting stat for you.
Yeah.
Vic Fangio has never beaten an Andy Reid team. And that's something you should think about with 2 weeks to prepare for a football game. Like, in a game like that, I'll usually allow Carl to bring us with the nugget stats. But on my flight here, I had time. You understand? I had time. And there's a lot of those stats. You're talking about the most clutch guy, number 15. Shout out to little Uzi Vert with Philly. He's banging in the stadium right now. But you've got to understand, we ready to roll today, baby. We ready.
That is true. Vic hasn't beat Andy or Pat in his career, but in those games, his offenses have never scored more than, I think it was 24 points. Also, the Eagles this year,
we're going for that today, baby.
The Eagles going into this season had never beat Baltimore in Baltimore, got it done. Hadn't beaten Dallas since 2017, got it done. Hadn't beat Cincinnati since I think ever, got it done. Jalen Hurts had never beat I forget who it was. We had a bunch of different firsts this year. So I don't have the list in front of me, but I know we had a bunch of different firsts this year. Today's going to be a first for Vic Fangio. It's been easily the best year of his career. This has easily been the best defense he's coached. He's never coached a guy like Jalen
Cal, do me a favor. Here's the thing, Cal. I don't care about the Eagles beating the backup quarterback in Dallas. I could have beat the Cowboys. They were trying to lose. None of them 15, and none of those guys are Patrick Mahomes. And I want you to see something right before you go, Kyle. This is all you need to see right here, baby.
No, but you know what though? Honestly, Rick, do you think there's some sense of disrespect towards Jalen Hurts? Is there some sense of disrespect towards him?
I don't think it's disrespect. I mean, it's easy to paint it that way, right? I think it really just comes down to the elevated respect that is on Saquon Barkley. Look, we had these conversations over the past couple of days since the MVP was announced. Most of us in the chat agree that if not for the MVP award essentially being a quarterback award, Saquon Barkley is the MVP of the league this year. So it's not disrespectful to say, hey, we need to stop that guy and we'll live with the other guy beating us if that's what happens. That's not being disrespectful to Jalen Hurts. That's just giving all of the respect to Saquon Barkley. Same way on the other side. Nobody's trying to disrespect the impact that Kareem Hunt, or granted, they're not the level of player of a Jalen Hurts. I understand that, but nobody's disrespecting Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, or any of the other skilled players on the Chiefs offense. We're simply saying you want to try to make sure 15 don't beat you. That's all it is. So like Kyle mentioned, we've seen Jalen do it in this game before against this opponent and just come up a little bit short. Why? Because you got that other guy on the other side of the field, man. When you got that guy on the other side of the field, Sometimes you can do all that is necessary. You can do all the right things. You can do what it takes, and you still come up short because that guy's on the other side of the field.
Kyle,
Listen, Carl, the only thing I want to add to that is this isn't a disrespect to Jalen Hurts. It's well documented in sports hitting the streets. Paul AP loves Jalen Hurts. From Bama to OU to Philly, I got nothing but love for the homie. But I just want I want the audience to understand some of those throws Josh Allen made had to be perfect. And I don't know that Jalen Hurts is going to do that today. That's all I'm saying. Like, in a game again, you got to be perfect. Like, I'm talking cross the T's and dot the I's and make sure you got the right font on when you're using Outlook. This is a big day today. And I know the Chiefs is ready. I know it. Like, I've been here. I'm seeing it. I'm watching it. The disrespect is on guys like DeAndre Hopkins. People saying Isaiah Worthy ain't really lit. People saying Travis Kelce is washed. That's the disrespect. That's what you need to be worried about because they ready to rock and roll. I'm telling you, I'm looking at we got 71 minutes and 1 second. I'm telling you what's going to happen, Kyle. And all these people around me, in front of me, I was here and I seen the same thing happen last year. And they was throwing them jerseys in the trash in San Fran. We ready to roll, baby. We ready to roll.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Travis back in. Unfortunately, we can't get him back in. He got kicked out, but I know he still didn't get a chance to make his pick. Maybe we can get him back into the post game. But guys, any final thoughts as we wrap up before I let you guys go enjoy it? Kyle, any final thoughts here?
Should be a great game. Hope everyone enjoys the night. Go Birds. Big respect to Patrick Mahomes. Big respect to Andy Reid. Think they're all the best at what they do. But if there's any team that could take them down, it's going to be the Eagles tonight. And one last thing, everyone enjoy that halftime show tonight. Kendrick Lamar, greatest rapper.
Is he allowed to play? They're not like us, or did they ban him from playing?
I think he'll play not like us. I think the better conversation is, will he be allowed to say Drake's name? He says Drake's name in like the third line.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like I'm sure it will be played. It's a matter of what version.
Yeah, what they'll let him say.
Which bars get performed and not, right?
Not like us, or no, not like us. Greatest rapper of all time, greatest artist of our generation. It's gonna be a great show tonight. It might be hard for me to pay attention to it tonight. I might be too stressed, but when I watch it tomorrow, I'm sure it's gonna be fantastic.
Would you guys be available for a post game? Rick, are you good for a post game?
But potentially.
Okay.
I'll keep you posted.
Keep me posted. Kyle, would you be in for a post game, or would you be too distraught if you lose? I have to get you back on.
Text me and I'll let you know.
All right. Super Bowl P, possible post game. I'll send out the link. We'll see who's available and we'll do it.
P gonna be live from Bourbon Street.
You already know what time it is, bro. Like, it's a long walk to the Ubers, so I'm available, B.
All right, I got you.
Have the beads on deck,
Listen,
bro.
man, we got to be like Paul when we grow up.
And as for that Super Bowl, don't ask me what song it plays, because I might go viral to having noise cancellation headphones because this team Drake forever. I don't give a damn who Kendrick Lamar is.
Fellas, enjoy the game. Like, share, comment, subscribe to all hits.